In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Last week we talked about lexical relations. Now we are going to talk about what we mean by lexical relations. We didn't actually go into the details of lexical relations last week. The first type of lexical relation is the relation of synonymy or synonyms. Synonymy or synonyms. Well, we have two or more words with very close related meanings are called synonyms. Very close related meanings. But remember that they can often, though not always, be substituted for one another in the sentences. So, in the appropriate circumstances, we can say, what was his answer? Or what was his reply? But not all the time reply can substitute answer. Sometimes it cannot. Sometimes it cannot. Like what? Like these are the synonyms that you can see, like almost, nearly, cab, taxi, freedom, liberty, big, large, automobile, car, handbag, purse, broad, wide, couch, sofa, hard, difficult, buy, purchase, doctor, physician, sweat, and perspire. But sometimes we cannot actually, in fact, replace one another. One example was something like this. Suppose that I'm going to read line 4. Sandy. Line 5. Sandy had one answer correct on the test. So the sentence is okay with the word answer. I cannot say that Sandy had only one response correct on the test. What does it show? Answer and reply are not totally the same. Line 2, it is written that we do not have something like total sameness. Instead, we have near synonyms, or close synonyms, as the book says. Near synonyms or close, line 2. Just went to the next chapter. It's on the next chapter. I'm coming back to our new today's discussion. It's here. A couple of more pages. Yes, here in this page. Now, we cannot say that they are the same all the time. So they are not the same. So we can say something like in a broad agreement. We cannot say in a wide agreement. But broad and wide are synonyms. What does it show? It shows that broad and wide are not, in fact, perfect synonyms, or they are simply close synonyms. Another one, we can say in the whole wide world. We cannot say in the whole broad world. So we do not have. In theory, they say there are not two perfect synonyms in a language, in any language. Sometimes synonyms appear to be used in one variety of English, like American English, and the other could be used in another variety, let's say British English. These are examples, like 3 lines to the bottom of this paragraph, we can have candy, chips, diaper, and gasoline. Candy, chips, diaper, and gasoline. These are used in American English. What about British English? Instead, they use something like sweets, crisps, nappy, and petrol. So, what is the difference? Are they the same as as each other? We say no, they are not the same. Why? We say it's because because synonyms are not, in fact, totally the same. And there's another example to say that they are different. We have got the next paragraph, and we have formal versus informal uses. Okay? Formal and formal uses. So one synonym could be used in formal situation, and another in another informal situation. Like what? Look at this one. My father purchased a large automobile. My father, line 2, purchased a large automobile. This is formal. Okay? In informal English, we never say something like this. Instead, we say, my dad bought a big car. My dad bought a big car. So, one small difference between synonyms is that one can be used in an informal situation and the other could be used in a formal situation. Going to the next discussion on page 135, we can say something like this. Antonyms, line type 2. Okay? Two forms with opposite meanings are called antonyms. Two words with opposite meanings are called antonyms. Examples are here. Line 3. Alive, dead, happy, sad, old, new, big, small, hot, cold, raise, lower, buy, sell, line, short, rich, poor, enter, exit, male, female, smart, stupid, fast, slow, married, single, true, false. Okay? But unlike synonyms, when we talk about antonymies, when we talk about antonyms or antonymy, we talk about two words that are exactly opposite each other. Okay? Unlike synonymy. For synonymy, we said that we do not have a perfect synonymy. Okay? But here we say we do have. Okay? This is one big difference between the two. The other thing about antonymy is with that we have different types of antonyms. Three of the different kinds of antonyms are given here. Okay? Number one is gradable antonym, the other one non-gradable antonym, and number 3 is reverses. What does it mean to say gradable antonyms? Line 1. The new paragraph, line 1 on page 135. Antonyms are usually divided into 3 main types: gradable, non-gradable, and reverses. What is the first one? Okay, line 3. We can use gradable antonyms in comparative constructions involving adjectives, as in the underlined example. I'm smaller than you, and you are slower, sadder, or colder, shorter, and older. Okay? Simply for gradable antonyms, well, we can add er. I am just looking to see what I can say about that. Okay? But for non-gradable antonyms, we cannot say. What does it mean? There's a big difference between two antonyms if they are gradable. So one example here is hot and cold. Hot and cold. Okay? There are gradations between hot and cold. Hot and cold. So, suppose that we have got some water. It could be hot, it could be hotter, and it could be hotter than this again. Or colder, or colder, or colder, and coldest. Hotter, hotter, hottest. Okay? How many? Indefinite number of situations. These are called gradable antonyms. Gradable antonyms. Okay? Gradable antonyms. Antonyms are like this. Like what? Let me give you one example. You can be, first, when you are born, how old are you? You are not even 1 year old. You develop to become 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, etc., up to the time that you are 70, 80, 90 years old. Okay? So between old and young and old, there are so many gradations, unlimited number of gradations. These are said to be gradable antonyms. Okay? The book says that when you can add er to the end, it shows that it is gradable antonyms. Like, for example, dark. Do we have something like dark and bright? Okay? At noon, we have bright sky. Okay? At night, we have dark sky. And between dark sky and bright sky, we have so many different gradations. In the evening, actually, it is a bit not that dark, not that bright. It is going to be darker and darker up to the midnight, which is darkest time, let's say. Okay, now these are called gradable antonyms. But what about non-gradable antonyms? Simply, we have got two situations for non-gradable antonyms. Non-gradable antonyms, I've got two types. Okay, either this one or that one. For example, alive, dead. Alive, dead. An animal, a human being, can be either alive, one situation, or dead, another. So that's why we cannot have er at the end of it. We cannot simply say aliver, deader. Why? Why? Because they are non-gradable antonyms. Okay? Now there's another test for non-gradable antonyms. We can use something like a negative test. Well, line 1, 2, 3 here. We can say the negative test. What does it mean? We can use, for non-gradable antonyms, we can use a negative test. So, when you say, my grandparents aren't alive, my grandparents aren't alive, it means that my grandparents are dead. Negative. Okay? Aren't alive means are dead. Other examples. Non-gradable. Male, female. If you are a male, then you are not a female. Okay? Or if you are married, you are not a single. Okay? Or if something is true, it is not false. Okay? So we can't use a negative test. So what happens if I use a negative test for gradables? So I can say, I am rich. What does it mean? Does it mean I am not poor? Yes. But does it mean when I say I am poor, does it mean I am not rich? No, because there are so many gradations between poor and rich. Okay? Poor or rich. Okay? Now, dark, the same thing for dark. The same thing for, let's say, long and short. The same thing for, let's say, fast and slow. Okay? I'm using the examples that we have got there. Old and new, happy and sad, and alive and dead. Why? Because they are all gradable antonyms. So for gradable antonyms, we have gradations. For non-gradable antonyms, we have only two situations, alive or dead. On or off. Turn on the AC, turn off the AC. Turn on the air conditioner, turn off the air conditioner. Either it is on or off. We do not have something in between. Type 3 is the reversives. Well, for the reversives, we can use something like examples like these: pack and unpack, exit, open, exit, enter, etc. The last paragraph of antonymy. Okay, pack, unpack. Okay, so if somebody says I'm packing, what does it mean? You are going to move from one city to another city. You are going to take a trip to Iran. I am going to take a trip to Iraq. Okay? So it's pack. What is the opposite? It is unpack. I've got something like a parcel. I am going to unpack it. I am going to open it. Pack and unpack. Lengthen, shorten is another example. Raise and lower is another kind. And tie and untie. So what is it? It actually means line 3, do the reverse of something. So if somebody says that he is dressing, okay, the opposite of the dressing is undressing, doing the reverse of dress. If there's something like the reverse of something, we say it is a kind of reversive antonym. Okay, so for the reversive antonym, you should know that we cannot use a negative test. So if somebody is in fact undressing, it doesn't mean that he or she is not dressing. Okay, not dressing. Okay, like this. So if somebody says that I am entering the room, it doesn't mean that he or she is not exiting the room. Okay, or if something is in fact lengthening, doesn't mean that it is shortening. Okay, the opposite for this group is not possible for the reversives, but it was possible for non-gradable antonyms. Excuse me, somebody knocked on the door and I had to continue opening the door to talk about that person. Anyway, I am going to just finish this part with reversives, which are in fact like words like enter and exit, etc. that I told you. And we said that the negative test actually does not work with reversive tests. Okay. Now we are going to go to the hyponymy. Maybe I'm gonna choose finish this part and open another one. Thank you very much.